What's up guys, today is day 20 and I don't know why but I feel really happy today. And on different days I have different kind of moods. Yesterday I was not that much in the mood of like teaching and stuff, but I just wanted to record something daily, so I recorded something yesterday. So I'm not recording these, just so that you know, I'm not recording these videos all in one day. These videos are recording within the span of like 30 days. So each day I'm trying to record at least one video and trying to teach you guys at least one new concept. So enough of my babbling, let's get on to what we are going to be building today. In the previous video, we built this total length functionality inside our music player. Today, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be building the current time duration or the current time position of a music being played. So let's say 10 seconds have passed since we started playing the music, then the current length will be 10 seconds. Just like in a typical music player, when you play the music, it shows where the current position of the music is. So maybe I should play some music in the background or something. Or wait, I can probably show you. So this is the example of the current duration of the music being recorded. So this is Camtasia, because we basically recording my audio, but this is a good example of what we are going to be building today. It's going to be going from 0 and then it's going to be increasing. So let's get onto it. The first thing I'm gonna do is gonna make it go down, and then I'm going to make a new label. So we already have two labels. First is for the file name, and the second is total length. The third will be of the current time duration. So I'm just gonna copy this from here, paste it over here, type in current time label, and then I can just copy this, paste it over here, current time label.pack, and instead of total length I can just write current time, and then I want to let's just reload it and see how it looks right now. So where is my run functionality? Let's just reload it, and it says let's make some noise, total length, and then current time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put in some changes over here. So I'm gonna remove this pad Y from here and maybe put some padding on this second one, and let's see how it looks. And let's reload it. Alright, I like this better because it has some like equal paced padding on top and in bottom. And then what I want is that I want this current time should be a little bit differentiated from the other two labels. So I'm gonna give it some groove. So if you remember, we talked about argument, it's called relief, and usually we give it a sunken value or a raised value. So I'm gonna give here this current time label a value of groove, and you'll just know how it looks when I reload it. And it kind of looks like a border, but it's a little bit like not a very dark solid border. It's like a grayish kind of a border, and it has a feeling that this whole area is sunken a little bit, not a lot. It's kind of a very groovy kind of visual effect. Alright, so now that we are done with the visuals, let's actually get into the meat of what we are gonna do. Alright, so what we are gonna make right now is an imperfect countdown. So the idea of what we are gonna do to show this kind of where it has gone. Oh yeah, here. So the idea to make this kind of a thing is what we're gonna do is we are gonna start from we're gonna show how much time is remaining in the audio. So it's gonna start from the current time. Basically it's going to start from whatever the length of the total length of the music is, and then it's going to go down by 1 second. So let's say the music was of 5 minutes. So after 10 seconds, this will show 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. So it will basically show how much time is remaining in the music till the time it's finished. So for that, we are going to use this total underscore length audio, and what we are going to do after 1 second, after each second has passed, we are going to decrease its length by 1 second. So for that, let's actually create a new function. We are going to create a start, let's call it start underscore count function, and we are going to pass total length to it. So let's actually create this function, start underscore count. And if you still have no idea what we are building, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure you do though. So it's just kind of a countdown, stopwatch kind of thing. It starts from it is going to start from the total length, for example like 5 minutes 10 seconds, and then it's gonna go down till it reaches 0. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a while statement, and we're gonna write, actually we have to receive this total length over here, so I'm just gonna put it in t. So I'm just gonna write while t, and then we're gonna do the same thing that we did over here. We need, because this is a total length and we need the minutes and the seconds and the time format and everything else. So I'm just gonna copy this from over here and basically paste it. Literally it's the same thing, paste it over here. Instead of total length, I'm just gonna write t, because t is actually the total length right now. And then let's just make sure that it sleeps for 1 second. So after every iteration of this loop, we want it to sleep for 1 second. So I'm just gonna write time dot sleep, and I wanted to sleep it for 1 second, so I'm just gonna put in 1000. It's showing an error because we don't have the package of time in our repository. So I'm just gonna import time. Let's import it over here. Let's write import time, and the error should be gone now if we go down. All right, so what we're gonna do, and then I'm just gonna decrease it by 1. All right, so what this is doing is after each iteration of this loop, it starts from, for example, let's say 300 seconds. All right, so it goes down, it changes the 300 seconds to minutes and seconds. So it's right now it's if for example it's 5 minutes, or let's say it's 301 seconds. So this is going to be converted into 5 minutes and 1 second. It's gonna, obviously after rounding up, it's gonna be 5 minutes and 1 second. It's gonna be converted into a proper time format, and then we are gonna delay by 1 second. We're gonna put in a delay of 1 second, and this value is in milliseconds. That's why we are putting in 1000 milliseconds, because 1000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second. And then we decrease the value of 301 second by 1, which makes the current value after this statement 300. Then it goes to the top again, and it again converts 300 to minutes and seconds, which is 5 minutes and 0 seconds. And then it does the same thing again and again. So let's actually change the format of this current label that we have put in. So we have to change this current time, right? So that's why I'm gonna put it somewhere over here, and instead of length label, I'm just gonna put in current time label, and instead of total length, we are just gonna write current time. Let's write it down, current time, and that's pretty much it. So one thing that we have to do, that if we implement this right now, it's going to throw us an error, and this is actually not gonna work. So what's happening behind the scenes is, if you execute it, I'm not going to execute this program right now, but you try and execute this. So what's gonna happen after you execute it is that it's gonna hang. All right, your whole computer, or all of your, not your whole computer, but the software melody that we are creating will hang. The music will play, but you won't be able to use the melody software. And this is because we have created this while loop, which is gonna go for a long time. So for example, if the video or the audio, not the video, the audio is, let's say 5 minutes long, that means it has 300 seconds inside of it. So our whole program is going to be busy inside this while loop for 300 seconds, and it won't be able to do anything else. All these other statements will go into a state of freeze, because our code is only engaged inside this while loop and it's not able to go anywhere else for the duration of 300 seconds. So that's where a concept called threading comes in. So what happens in threading is, actually let me see how much time we have already done. Okay, it's 9 minutes. I think this is good enough for today's video. We learned how to create this start underscore total length, and then we created this def start count function. Should I go for threading? Actually, let's do it. I know this video is gonna be long, but let's go for it. All right, let's complete this total length part of this lecture. So yeah, why we need threading is because for 300 seconds this while loop is gonna be engaged, and the program won't be, or the Python interpreter won't be able to go anywhere else. That's why the whole thing will be in a state of freeze. You should try and execute it once just to know what's happening and why it's happening. So to tackle this, to make sure that we can execute this function at the same time, as the music is being played in the background, and make sure that other stuff doesn't get hanged, we have to use something known as threading. What we are trying to do without threading over here is, like, let's imagine you're standing somewhere in an open place, and where enemies are coming from all over the place, all right, and you're standing there and you're saying, hey, I will keep watch on the north direction and the south direction at the same time. You can't do that. You can't keep watch in the north and the south direction at the same time. If you keep watching in the north direction, then you'll have to turn around 180 degrees to make sure that you're watching the south. But if you're watching the south direction, if you're watching your back, then you won't be able to watch the north direction, and the enemies might be coming from that direction. So the idea, how you can tackle this problem is that you can ask a friend and tell him, hey, you look in the south direction and I look in the north direction, and whenever an enemy comes in the south directions, just tell me and I'll report it to my superiors that, hey, an enemy is coming. And all of this will be able to execute very, very quickly, because your friend is quickly telling you, hey, the enemy is coming. So you'll be able to look in the north and the south direction kind of at the same time. So that is where threading comes in. Basically what you're going to tell your friend is, hey, make sure you take care of this while loop. While I go and play the music, I take care of all of these other functions. In threading, these are called the main thread. Make sure you take care of this thread while I take care of all the other threads. That is the main thread. So how do we implement threading is that we basically write import threading, and this is going to be really, really easy. So we'll just scroll down, and instead of just calling this function, we are going to create a variable. Let's call it t1, and inside this variable we are going to write threading.thread, and then inside this we are going to write the function name. First we are going to write the name of the argument or the parameter, and then we will write the function that we want to be called. So we want the function that we want to be called is start_count. So we're just going to write start_count, and then we want total length should be passed. So we'll write the second parameter as you will put in comma, and just we'll write arguments. So what kind of arguments do we want? So this target equals to start_count doesn't require these brackets, so we can remove them, it's fine. And then how do we pass the arguments? Because this start_count function requires the total length. So we need to put in a new parameter, and it's called args, which actually stands for arguments. So we need one argument that should be passed. The first argument is just total length, and that's pretty much it. We just put a comma and we don't put in the second argument. So, and then we need to start this thread. So we just write t1.start, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Now we can remove this start_count function. We don't need it. And yeah, this will work hopefully. So let's reload our program and see if it works. So I'm just going to press on this reload. Now I'm going to open up a file. Let's open up journey.wave first. I'm going to press on this play button. All right, so it's actually not decreasing currently. Why is it not decreasing? Let's scroll down and find out. I must have made some kind of mistake somewhere. Minutes, seconds. All right, I got what the problem is. So the problem over here is this 1000 parameter. So actually this time package, I got confused it with other package. This package doesn't take the value in milliseconds. It actually takes the value in just seconds. So we can just write 1, and this will be equal to 1 second. And that was the problem. So we'll just have to reload it, and we're gonna file open, and we're gonna press journey.wave, press on play. And now the music has stopped, but as you can see, this current time is not stopping. So we need to make sure that when the stop button is pressed, this current time should also be stopped, and it should not it should just stop countdowning from wherever we press the pause button. So inside this mixer class of Pygame, there is this function, and it is called I'll just show you, mixer.music.getBusy. So what this does is that it returns a value of false when we press the stop button. Whenever the stop button is pressed, it returns the value of false, and that is why we'll be immediately basically we'll immediately get out of this while loop, and the music and the timer will stop. So let me just add a comment over here to what this does. I'll just copy this and paste this over here. Stops the music. It doesn't stop the music, it just returns false when we press the stop button or music stops playing. Alright, returns false when you press the stop button and music stops playing. So when we press the pause button, when we press the stop button, this returns false, and both of these conditions are not met, and because of this AND conditional statement, it gets out of this while loop. So both of these conditions have to be true to make sure that this while loop is getting executed, and when this while loop gets a value of false, it automatically breaks out of it. So yeah guys, this should work. So let's reload it, and we'll go to the file again, open up johnny.wave, press on this play button, and now when we press the stop button, the current time automatically stops, and if we press the play button again, it starts from 1 minute and 7 seconds, and then it starts counting down. I mean, you can probably do, if you want, we are doing it from the top. What you can do if you want, you can start it from 0.00, and then instead of t minus equals to 1, you can do probably t plus equals to 1, and then instead of countdowning it from 1 minute and 7 seconds to 0, you can start from 0000 and count it down to 0107. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I just like to do it in this kind of manner, because it shows how much time is remaining in the video and where it is currently. That's my idea. You can just start it from 0000 if you want. It doesn't matter. So anyways, one other corner problem that we have is if we press, let's say, press play again. Now if you press the pause button, the music is still going on. So this is not going to work right now. So what we are going to do is we are going to just scroll down, and you remember in one of the last few videos we changed how the play button worked. Not the play button, how the pause button worked. Let's find out the pause button. All right, so this was the stop music, and this was the pause button. So we had changed the logic of how the pause worked, just because we could not use the pause functionality inside this counter area. So what we are going to do is, if you remember, we are using this paused variable and we are putting in the value of false, and when the pause button is pressed, this value changes to true. So we are going to use this value of true or false to make sure that our countdown stops when the music is paused, and it countdown resumes again when it's unpaused. So what we are going to do is we are going to go inside this while statement. We are going to write if. First, we obviously need to access that paused variable. So I'm just going to write global paused, and now we'll be able to access this paused variable and the value inside this paused variable, whether it's true and false. And then inside this, we are just going to check whether it's paused or not. If it's paused, we'll continue. Else, we are going to execute our statements that are under this. So what continue does is that it ignores all of these statements under it and goes to the next iteration of the loop, and it continues to do so unless the unpaused button is pressed or the play button is pressed and this paused is turned to false, and then it can go to this else condition statement again. So all this continue statement ignores all the statements under it. Alright, so this should help us get rid of the countdown when the pause button is pressed. So let's click on file, open, click on, this time I'm gonna choose IC Fire, click on play.
Oh, Misty.
Now when we press on the pause button, as you can see, the timer has stopped, and when we press on this play button again,
Of the mountain below,
the timer resumes from the time basically at what time it was paused. Now let's say you wanted to start it from 0000. What you could have done, I just want you to do it. Let's see how much time we have. It's actually 21 minutes. Holy shit. But let's actually get it done. Let's see, what if we wanted to start it from 0, 0, 0, 0. I have no idea, so I'm just gonna wing it. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it to t plus equals to 1. And after that, let's see what else we have to change. So over here we are gonna see, so we are gonna declare a new variable. Let's call it x equals to 0. And then over here we are gonna say while x is less than or equals to t, because that's the total length. All right, and this should also work actually. So but instead of t we are gonna put an x over here, and this should be good enough. So let's reload it and see if it actually works. It might not work, but according to the logic that I've put in, it should work. Let's go with journey.wave, click on play. All right, so it's not working. Let's see why. So while 0 is less than or equal to the time that we have, that is okay. Okay, got it. So basically it's not increasing because we are not increasing the value of x anywhere. So let's increase the value of x somewhere. Instead of t plus equals to 1, actually we need to do x plus equals to 1. That was a problem. So let's click on reload, go to file, open, journey.wave, click on play. And now you can see that the timer is actually increasing from 0, 0 to 03, and this timer is going to go till 0107 because we have put in a condition while x is less than equals to the total time, and the total time is for example in this case it's about 67 seconds. It's gonna go till 67 seconds and then it's gonna pause. So let's resume it, and now you can see that our timer is working pretty well. So let's actually leave this timer to this kind of format. We don't need to do the music is stopped, right? Yeah, we don't need to do the other format. So guys, this was a pretty long video. I don't know, it was like about 23 minutes, but it's good because we got to learn a lot of stuff, right? We got to learn about the threading part. We got to know about why we are using this mixer.music get busy. And let me just also add one other condition, just other comment. So, and why we are using the continue statement. Continue ignores all of the statements below it. We check if music is paused or not. All right. So yeah, I guess this should be good enough. So we have put in two conditions. For this is for stop button, and this continue is for the pause button. And what we are doing is we have created a thread so that we can look in both of the directions at the same time. And with the thread, I just want to tell you guys one more time. You can skip this video if you want, if you are bored of learning what is threading or you already know what a thread is. So what I'm asking the thread to do is, hey, this thread you can imagine this as my friend. I'm saying to my friend, hey, make sure you handle this while loop correctly while I handle this main thread that has all the functionality of making sure that the software works, like play music, pause music, and basically showing all of the buttons inside a Tkinter window. It's kind of like looking in the north direction and the south direction at the same time, but you're asking your friend to look in the south direction and he's going to tell you when an enemy approaches. So this was kind of one of my analogy which I made on the spot. But hope you guys understood it properly. If you guys have any problems, make sure you contact me wherever you are watching this. I'm pretty sure you will find some way to contact me. Anyways, guys, this was pretty much it for day 20. I'll see you tomorrow, and we are going to be working on our playlist. So we'll be able to add items to our queue, add some more music, we are going to add something known as list box, a new kind of GUI inside our Tkinter window. So I'll see you tomorrow, and peace out.